Fernando Alonso on pole in front of a home crowd from Michael Schumacher. Romain Grosjean, and then behind Romain Grosjean is Lewis Hamilton, who hasn't won yet this season. And everybody's off the line here in Spain. A fantastic start there from Romain Grosjean. Schumacher's dropping places. Hamilton and Maldonado going across the painted lines there. Hamilton coming across the grass. There's been an accident. I saw, big accident just before the braking zone for turn 1. I didn't see who that was. No sign of Maldonado. It looks like Maldonado's been involved. Raikkonen's missing as well, so it looks like he's been involved in some shenanigans. At the braking zone for turn 1, they didn't even get past turn 1, these drivers. Just at the braking zone. Hamilton's now gone up inside Schumacher and up into second place. Fantastic start there from McLaren. Grosjean's now trying to fight through. Button's made up places. Both McLarens enjoying a difficult qualifying session. Schumacher nearly losing his front wing to Lewis Hamilton. That could have been a messy moment with the pack streaming behind. So Alonso leads the Spanish Grand Prix. He gets through the first corner safely from Hamilton and Schumacher. They're side by side. Hamilton just about holding Schumacher off, but Grosjean and Button are right behind. Hamilton runs a little bit wide, and that's going to allow Schumacher to come past. Schumacher has got past. They come down into the braking zone. Schumacher cuts across Hamilton and they collide. And that was Schumacher's fault. He turned in on Hamilton far too early there. He knew Hamilton was there. He knew Hamilton was not going to give him any space. And a yellow flag, so Hamilton can't go past Daniel Ricciardo, who's fighting with Kamui Kobayashi. And then Ricciardo's had a golden opportunity. He's hesitated, and Hamilton swoops past. And Kobayashi, being held up by Petrov, is easy prey for Hamilton as well. So a disastrous start to the Grand Prix. It doesn't look like we're going to get a safety car. The marshals have done an excellent job to get everybody moving. It looks like Maldonado is out of the race. So real disappointment for Williams. Maldonado hasn't scored since Australia. There's Senna and Hülkenberg side by side down the pit straight. Fantastic to watch as Senna goes through, and Hülkenberg is now under attack from Lewis Hamilton round the outside into turn 1. Round the inside for turn 2, and swoops in front for turn 3. Hamilton takes Hülkenberg, and now Senna's position is under threat. Bruno Senna hasn't scored a point this year, and now he's side by side with Hamilton coming into turn 5, and Hamilton quite easily gets through. Senna doesn't put up too much of a fight. He knows it's only a matter of time before Hamilton gets past, and Hamilton can set off now after the other Force India of Paul di Resta. He's now behind Mark Webber. So there is Hamilton, there is Senna, who's still in touch with the McLaren, so if he makes a mistake, Senna can jump at it. Senna very nearly having a big accident there with Di Resta. We've only had one crash, we've got 2 so far, and we've only had a lap and a half. There, and Paul Di Resta runs a little bit wide. Hamilton goes through, and now Hamilton can set off after Mark Webber, who had an appalling start there, and Webber's already lost ground, and now Vettel is under pressure. No DRS down this main straight yet. It's been extended for 2012. So here comes Hamilton now in slipstream, and Webber a long way back. Now he's under pressure from Paul Di Resta. They're side by side down the pit straight. We cut back to Lewis Hamilton, who's attacking Sebastian Vettel. Goes inside the reigning champion. Vettel cuts back. Hamilton's got the inside for turn 2. They bang wheels. Vettel runs a little bit wide. And a breathtaking manoeuvre there from Lewis Hamilton. And Webber just about keeping himself in front of Paul Di Resta, who was very much in with a chance of passing the Red Bull. So now it's the 2 McLarens. Hamilton's done a great job of fighting his way back. And ahead of Jenson Button is Romain Grosjean. And these 2 are the championship leaders coming into this race. Grosjean and Button. Button extended his lead in Bahrain when Grosjean spun while trying to pass him. So Button, the championship leader, behind Romain Grosjean, and behind Button is Hamilton, who hasn't recorded a race victory so far this year. Can Hamilton get through? Button's going to let him through. Button can't pass Grosjean. He's going to see if he can follow Hamilton past. Hamilton, great overtaking so far in this race. But Button just has to stay close enough to try and get past. When Hamilton goes for it, Hamilton has a look at Grosjean, forces Grosjean wide. Hamilton gets sideways, and Grosjean just about able to keep going. Hamilton having to clamber all over the curves to avoid hitting the Frenchman. And now there'll be DRS. Hamilton well within the second required to open the rear wing. Now the rear wing opens. Grosjean moves over. Hamilton has to fly across the track. Wheel to wheel stuff. Look at this. They're almost touching. Hamilton gets in front, but Button, no such luck for him, and Hamilton is not going to stick around for too long. He has to set off after the race leader, Fernando Alonso, who is leading his home race, and every time he goes past, a massive cheer from the spectators. So Hamilton now rounding turn 4, where he passed Michael Schumacher. To have that sideways moment and collision with Schumacher, who has got a new nose on the car. Through turn 5, a little bit sideways there from Hamilton, who's pumped in the fastest first sector. So he's pushing like crazy. That, of course, wasn't helped by the DRS, but Grosjean obviously not going to make it easy for someone. Goes through turn 9, a flat out corner where McLaren, Baker cover liner had that massive crash in 2008 where the tyre deflated on the entry to that corner just before his pit stop. But no such worries for Hamilton through there. And it's the fastest middle sector for Lewis Hamilton, so this could well be the fastest lap of the race. And as long as Hamilton keeps it clean through this final couple of corners, which he hasn't done, he's got it sideways through the chicane. He might, yep, he hasn't lost any places to Grosjean. Onto the start-finish straight. And that was a worst case scenario for Lewis Hamilton there. He was catching Alonso very, very quickly. So Lewis Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the race. And now, still in pursuit of Fernando Alonso. And we're just going to show you a replay of what happened at the start of this race. It was Hamilton and Maldonado side by side. Here it is. They come across the pit lane entry. Maldonado loses it under braking, hits Raikkonen, Rosberg gets caught up. They bounce back across the track, and it's just a miracle that no one else was caught up. And well, it could have been a very nasty accident. It was quite a nasty one, but it could have been a lot worse. So Hamilton continues to put in fastest sector for the first sector while we're watching the replay. That was Alonso just in the background there. So Hamilton is reeling Alonso in here, and the Spanish spectators will not like that one bit. Both McLarens really struggling in qualifying. Hamilton had a goodish first lap, right up until the collision with Schumacher, but this is a great fight back from Hamilton. Now as he runs a little bit wide, he's pushing to the absolute limit and a little bit beyond. There is Alonso, crossed the line. There's Hamilton. So still a large gap between them. Alonso's already through turn 1. There he is. You can just see him in the distance. And Hamilton getting a little bit sideways, really wringing the neck of that McLaren in his attempt to catch Fernando Alonso, who will not want to give up this home win. Alonso yet to win a race, of course, in Malaysia. Webber took the win from under his nose at the final corner of the final lap. And Hamilton is really starting to catch Alonso now. They're getting closer and closer as Hamilton gets very sideways. He is pushing right on to the limit. So there you just see Alonso, and there is Hamilton there. And McLaren with another fastest first sector. Hamilton is flying. He runs a little bit wide at turn 9. That's not going to cost him. And there is Maldonado. So Maldonado is still in this race, by the looks of things. Just about. So obviously Williams patched up that car, which is a major problem for Alonso, in fact, because he's now got to negotiate past Maldonado with Hamilton bringing down neck. Alonso cannot afford to waste a second passing Maldonado. They're both pitting in together. Alonso and Hamilton are both pitting, and this could be crucial. It's a very high pressure stop here. McLaren versus Ferrari. Hamilton and Alonso stop at the same time. And are they down at the same time? Then we look back at Grosjean and Button, who are also having their own pit lane fight. And Alonso has kept his lead, but there is Nico Hülkenberg bearing down on Hamilton. Alonso looks to be clear. Hamilton's already been passed by Hülkenberg. And that was the decisive moment in Australia, where Button just fought his way back past Hülkenberg, and Alonso clears Hülkenberg. Hamilton does not, but Hülkenberg on the softer tyres should be able to have a fight with Alonso.
So neither of them have really had the best possible stop, because Alonso's now having to lose time defending to Hulkenberg. Hamilton's going to lose time passing Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's not making it easy for Hamilton. Hamilton forces him wide, and Lewis goes through. And so this is effectively the battle for the lead once the pit stops play out, and Hamilton all over the back of the Ferrari. And he has to watch now, every time he attacks Fernando, that Nico Hulkenberg does not go through. He's got to be very careful here. Hulkenberg on the older tyres, but the softer rubber as Hamilton goes down the outside. Heavy braking, and he's cleared Alonso. So Hamilton will effectively lead the race once the pit stops have played out, which should be in the next few laps. But Alonso right on his tail and should have the DRS at this rate. Now, in fact, Hamilton's run a little bit wide there, and very wide at the next corner. It's compromised his line through the chicane, and Alonso will have the DRS as Hulkenberg pits. And that rear wing opens now, and look at the speed difference. Alonso is chewing up that lead that Hamilton has. Very slim lead. Can Alonso get past? No, he can't. Hamilton just about holding on, missing the apex by a country mile, and that isn't making life any easier. There's Button in the background. So Alonso still with a shout of victory here, and through turn 3 Hamilton goes off and just cuts right in front of Alonso, very nearly taking the Ferrari out. Then Hamilton runs wide at 4, and Alonso's back in the lead. Alonso leads his home Grand Prix, but Hamilton's not fighting. Sorry, yes, he is fighting. No, he's not going to give this one up without a fight, is what I meant to say. Alonso versus Hamilton. Down now into the chicane. This 7-8 chicane. No changes, and Hamilton's having a look into turn 9. That's a brave move, but he thinks better of it, probably for the best. So now Hamilton versus Alonso. This is where Hamilton passed Alonso on the last lap. He brakes late, he brakes very late, but he can't quite do it. But he's closed the gap to Alonso. He's kept it on the track. He's kept it right there in Alonso's mirrors. And I don't think a McLaren has ever looked quite so big in a Ferrari's rear mirrors. For quite a while anyway. There, Hamilton on the inside of Alonso. Alonso leaves the door open, but it's a chicane, so Alonso has the inside. Hamilton just makes it around the outside. He cuts back in front of the Ferrari through that final corner. Alonso might have the DRS. Yes, it's Alonso with the DRS, which is bad news for Hamilton. He's closer than last time, and he pulls out of the McLaren slipstream, and there he goes through into the lead. Alonso's back in the lead. The crowd goes absolutely mental. Their hero's back in the lead, but Hamilton fights, and he now leads this Grand Prix. What an incredible race we're having. Hamilton running a little bit wide through turn 3 again. This allows them to be side by side on the way to turn 4. This long right hander, 180 degrees. Hamilton miles wide, and that's allowed Alonso through. The Ferrari driver, there's Button closing in. That's how much time they've lost. Button has jumped Grosjean. Webber has jumped Grosjean as well during the pit stops. Vettel has jumped Grosjean, not Webber. Webber must have had a problem. He's dropping back like a stone. So, here is the battle for the lead. They are now in the lead. Everybody has stopped. So, Hamilton goes flying through. And that was never going to work. Hamilton running wide, having to fend off his teammate a little bit there. Button, the championship leader, they can't afford to fight hard and take each other off. Button leads the championship. Romain Grosjean is still in this race, still in the points. And still good for quite a few points at this rate. So Alonso, Hamilton, Button, Vettel, Grosjean. Grosjean's in the top 5, and Hamilton now has the DRS. Now, how long is the 7th gear on that McLaren? There, Alonso squeezing him right to the grass. Wheel-to-wheel action this is. They swap sides. Alonso and right on the limiter. Hamilton is just riding on that limiter. There he goes way too deep into turn 1. That's not too bad because turn 2 is a right-hander, but now that compromises his entry into 3. He loses out to Fernando and Jenson. Lewis Hamilton making mistakes here that he just can't afford to do. He goes around the outside of Button and through the inside of Alonso. They bang wheels, and Button takes the 2nd place. It's a McLaren 1-2. Vettel's in 4th. There is Grosjean. There, and Hamilton's off the road. Hamilton's gone straight off. There he rejoins behind Vettel. He's down to 4th place. And there is Webber behind Grosjean, so he's caught up a little bit. So obviously it was only a mistake that Webber made that dropped quite a bit of ground. There is Bruno Senna in the background. So Bruno Senna could well score his first points of the season here. But we're focusing on the lead group. There are 5 drivers currently in with a shout of winning this race. There's Hamilton. That's his favourite overtaking spot for some reason. Not in the DRS zone. As he trails behind Sebastian Vettel. Searching for any opening, and I suspect down that main straight. Slipstream. DRS. No, Hamilton goes on the inside. That's going to compromise Vettel's exit. They're side by side. They bang wheels through the exit. They lose ground to Alonso and Button. Hamilton side by side before they even open the DRS. And Vettel had no chance to resist Lewis Hamilton there. The McLaren is back into 3rd place. It's a 1-3 at the moment for McLaren. Alonso and Button scrapping hard for the lead here. Jenson Button leading the championship, don't forget. Lewis Hamilton, I think he's 3rd at the moment, maybe 4th. But now he's dropping Vettel very quickly as he catches the lead duo who are scrapping. Can he go right around the outside of Alonso? That's a very brave move. Alonso runs him out of road. Hamilton dicing this way and that way, getting a little bit sideways under braking. And Alonso cuts off again. But Hamilton now has the inside. That was a risky move by Alonso. He should have seen Hamilton going for that cutback manoeuvre. And Hamilton is now back up into 2nd place after a brilliant move at that chicane. So Hamilton's running wide, getting very sideways on the exit of turn 9. That is not a nice place to get sideways. As Alonso, can he get through? Hamilton leaves him just a little bit of room, but Alonso thinks better of it. He wants to live to fight another day. But now he's got Vettel behind him. So Button leads Hamilton, Alonso and Vettel here in the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Catalunya through the chicane. And if Hamilton gets this right, he can get in the DRS zone to attack his teammate. He does get it right. That's well within a second. The perfect exit off the last corner. Hamilton and Button side by side. Onto the grass goes Hamilton. Wheel to wheel stuff. Look at this. They're almost touching. There. Hamilton gets in there. A Button back on the inside. And who's going to have it? It's Button round the outside of Hamilton. Through into turn 3. And Hamilton taking absolutely nothing there from that move. But he's closer to Jenson than last lap. So will he wait for another DRS attack? Or will he go now? I think that you know the answer now. He's going for it. This is a risky move. Button, his teammate, who is also the championship leader. If these two were miles ahead of the championship with 1 point separating them, you could forgive them as Hamilton runs wide and is now under attack from Alonso. Alonso takes the position. Alonso's back into 2nd place, and that is a disastrous move then from Hamilton. He tried to get past Button, it didn't work. Hamilton can now go round the outside of the Ferrari, and he's now right back with his teammates. Cars 3 and 4 scrapping. That's the 2 McLarens. Over the lead. Let's not forget, this is for the lead between teammates. Hamilton dices. Button gives him no room at all. Hamilton has to back out, but that compromises Button's entry into the next chicane. And Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the race. So Hamilton now leads Button, Alonso, and Button now goes past. Can Alonso get past as well? The McLarens have a very short 7th gear. And Hamilton down to 3rd. Almost nudging Alonso there. Fernando tries to guard the inside line. Hamilton just drives straight around the outside. Brilliant move there from Lewis Hamilton, who can set off after Jenson Button once again. 4 drivers in with a chance of winning the Spanish Grand Prix. And it could be any of them that wins. Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton fighting. Still fighting. Hamilton goes inside, but he's going to run wide. Button takes the place back. Yes, he does. And Alonso's having a sniff then. He's got a sniff of a potential victory in Spain. Can he make it stick though? Hamilton and Button. Hamilton thinks about a move at turn 9. That's a bad idea, Lewis. Sideways at the exit of turn 9. Button guarding the inside into turn 10, but Hamilton just decides, I'll take the outside then. But he's braked too late. He's run wide. Can he hold the place? He can hold the place. He's done it. And Hamilton is back in the lead of the race, but he's run wide. That's going to allow Button to potentially fight back into the chicane. A brilliant move from Hamilton. Just about making it stick. So, can Hamilton fend off the train now that is forming behind him? Now Hamilton moves across to the right hand side of the track. Button's there, he has to move back. He decides to guard from Alonso instead. So Button takes the lead. There we've got one of the Red Bulls attacking Alonso, and that, is it Webber? Or is it Vettel? I can't quite see. It's not really a great camera angle, but now Bruno Senna is in with a shout of winning this race. Alonso, Button, Hamilton, one of the... Oh my God, what is going on with this race? It's completely mental. It's Webber from Alonso, from Grosjean, from Senna, from Vettel. That's the current order. And Hamilton and Button scrapping again for the lead. I don't know where to look next. I really don't. Yeah, Hamilton putting two wheels on the grass to try and get past Button at turn 7. Had to think about that one then. Yeah, Hamilton trying to avoid an accident through turn 9 there. Paul di Resta is now in this chain of drivers who can win this race. If the leaders trip over each other, Senna, di Resta, they're going to be right up there with a shout of this victory that they're all fighting over. Question is, can Button stop Hamilton? Button cuts across Lewis Hamilton. Brave stuff. You have to put so much faith in your teammate. But Button leaves the door open into the chicane. They bang wheels. They're side by side. Throw it in, and Hamilton has lost it. And Alonso loses his front wing straight into the gravel. Fernando Alonso's chance of victory at his home race are gone. They are absolutely gone now. There's a complete scrap. Hamilton lost a lot of speed there. He's got... What on earth happened there? He got sideways through the final corner, tried to correct it, and Alonso hit him. There was nothing really Hamilton could do. It was going to be a collision with Alonso. Anyway, Alonso is still in the race. He's managed to get it out of the gravel. He's now going to have to do a whole lap without that front wing. And then get it changed. It's all over for Alonso in this race. And the Spanish crowd are not happy about that at all. Look at all the flags. They wanted to see Alonso win, but they're going to be disappointed this year. Button still leads though. We still have a fight for the lead. So Hamilton still chasing Button, still being chased by the Red Bull. And Romain Grosjean ominously looming in the background to remind Jenson Button that this championship is far from over. Even if Button wins, Romain Grosjean still will be within striking distance when it comes to the World Championship. So Button and Hamilton scrapping, and Hamilton will be in the DRS area. And so Hamilton, Button guards the inside, so Hamilton just decides to go straight down the outside, but it's the 7th gear, long enough. They're almost touching. Hamilton has to duck back into the slipstream. He's straight onto the limiter, and he can't get through. A bit of late braking. He has a look. Button runs a little bit wide. They swap places. Hamilton tries to cut back right around the outside into turn 3. Brilliant stuff there from Lewis Hamilton. But Jenson Button isn't finished yet. He is looking for this win. Hamilton gets a little bit sideways under braking. Button is back into the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. Button and Hamilton fighting, and that's allowing the pack to catch up again. And Button round the outside of Hamilton. Hamilton tries to keep up, but it isn't going to work. So, I still don't know who's going to win this race. Hamilton and Button. Hamilton goes inside Jenson Button. And has he done it? He keeps tight. He keeps very tight. And he's done it. Lewis Hamilton has taken the lead. Or has he? Button sideways. Oh. No, that was pretty close. So Hamilton now leads the Spanish Grand Prix. But there is this DRS zone down the main straight that he has to negotiate without losing the lead to Jenson Button or any of the cars in this train. Button dives to the right. Side by side, Button is into the... They start this final lap, and Hamilton going round the outside of Jenson Button. Fantastic move to start this final lap here in Spain.
But Hamilton's been forced wide by Button, and that's going to put him straight into the clutches of everybody else. Hamilton just about making it around without a problem. He's still in second place. It's still a McLaren 1-2 here as they continue round on this final lap here in Spain. Can Hamilton do it? Can Hamilton wrestle the victory from Button, or will Button extend his championship lead further? And Hamilton gets a wheel on the gravel, pitches the car sideways. That could have been a very nasty accident on the final lap here. But Hamilton not having a problem with the grip. He goes straight inside. Jenson Button takes it. Thank you very much. I'll just have the lead and run away. And the final sector now. Button having to look this way and that way. Every overtaking opportunity is critical here. There's one last stab he can have as Hamilton runs wide. If Button's not there, which he isn't, I don't think it's going to happen. Unless Button's supremely brave through here, I don't think it's going to happen. And Hamilton just has to get out of this chicane correctly, which he seems to have done. He hasn't lost any ground. Cuts across Jenson Button and wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton wins from Jenson Button, Mark Webber, Romain Grosjean, Bruno Senna getting his first points of the season with 5th, Sebastian Vettel, Paul di Resta, Fernando Alonso finishing 8th after his front wing came off, Nico Hülkenberg 9th, Kamui Kobayashi also scores his first championship points of the season in 10th, Felipe Massa 11th, Jean-Eric Vergne 12th, Michael Schumacher 13th after the first lap collision. Sergio Perez was 14th in the Sauber. Nico Rosberg 15th after the first corner mayhem. Vitaly Petrov 16th. Kimi Raikkonen caught up in the first corner melee, along with Pastor Maldonado 17th and 18th. Kartik Kayan 19th. Kovalainen 20th. Pedro De La Rosa 21st. Charles Pic 22nd. Timo Glock 23rd. And the only retirement of the race, Daniel Ricciardo, down in 24th. Well, not classified. Oh, what a race that was. Breathless stuff there. And Hamilton takes his first win of the season. And it's a McLaren 1-2. Jenson Button second will extend his championship lead. It's all good then for McLaren here in Spain. In terms of the championship, much has changed. Jenson Button still leads with an extended gap of now 10 points. But now it's to Lewis Hamilton, who's second. Romain Grosjean is third on 58. Mark Webber, 52. Nico Rosberg's strong form, now on 43. Kimi Raikkonen had a disaster in Spain, now on 34. Fernando Alonso is now tied with Sebastian Vettel after the misery of the final couple of laps at the Circuit de Catalunya. Massa is catching on 20. Sergio Perez has 18. Jean-Eric Vergne hasn't scored since China, 15. Nico Hülkenberg is impressed with 15. Bruno Senna scored 10 points in Spain, his first of the championship. Paul di Resta's on 9. Maldonado hasn't scored since Australia. Daniel Ricciardo's on 2. Schumacher's 2 points came in China. And Kamui Kobayashi has just 1 point to his name, scored in Spain. McLaren are now legging it at the front of the Constructors' Championship on 162 points. Lotus are next on 92. Red Bull are falling behind in their title defence on 80. Ferrari are miles behind on 48 and are under pressure from Mercedes, who have 45. Force India are miles back still with 24. Sauber are on 19. Williams have moved up from last place, now on 18, just 1 point ahead of Toro Rosso, who are on 17 points.